I would like to call this City Council meeting for January 28, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the roll call show that all council members are present. And then number 3, safety seconds. In response to a issue with a citizen, I'm going to kind of talk about a law that we have in place, and it is unlawful to discharge a firearm within Price city limits, including bows and compound bows. Dry firing a bow is dangerous and will cause serious damage to the bow and may cause serious injury for the person dry firing. Exemptions for controlled activities, including educational purposes and safety instruction, do apply for discharging a bow within city limits. We are going to alter the agenda, and we're going to move to item number 5 first, and that's the consent agenda. Is there any items that anyone would like to pull off and discuss? Hearing none, I would take a motion.
Mayor, I motion we approve consent agenda items A through D.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
With that, then we'll move back to item number 4, and that is Price City Council will be filling a vacancy, and that vacancy has been created by the election of myself from council to the mayor position, and a letter was sent in December for me to step down from that council position effective December 31st, 2025. So I want to thank Jackie, the city recorder, for her leadership in getting this taken care of and putting this all together for us, overseeing our process to fill this vacancy. We had a solicitation of interested and qualifying persons to fill the vacancy, and those qualifications include resident within the boundaries of Price City and to be a registered voter. Each one of our applicants for the vacant position has been confirmed and as qualified pursuant to the state statute. We have 5 excellent candidates sitting in front of us, and with that then the next step is that we want to confirm from each council member that there are not any conflicts of interest to disclose in this process. Councilmember Miller.
None.
Councilmember Tanner or Richardson. Councilmember Root.
No.
And Councilmember Urbanik. No. And none for myself. All right, so the process taking place tonight, we will have introductions by each interested person. They will go in the order which the applications were received by the Price City. 2 minutes maximum for those introductions. Councilmember Miller will be timing on that, and he will give you a 15-second notice when you're almost out of time.
I shoot a flare.
After that, we will move to the questions, and the questions will be done in the master ballot order, and that is an order that has been determined on by the state of Utah on how names go on the ballot. It's done at the state level. Balloting, and after each one of us will have a specific question that we ask, and we will ask each of you, and then we will start, and then that will rotate around. So each one of you will have a turn being first to answer the question, and each of you will have a turn being the last. So there's no what's that? Yeah, there's no advantage, thank you. So with that, we will move forward into our asking for your introductions. And so that the order that they were received, it will start with Rick Davis, then Brady Tubbs, Russell Seeley, Wayne Jackson, and Jim Piacitelli in that order. So Rick, you first. Lane, let him know when you're at the timer going. Okay.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me here and accepting my application as I wrote it, and finding that I have been qualified to fill this position. My name is Rick Davis. I've lived here in Price City all my life, except for 4 years that I put in the Air Force. Went to school here. I met my wife here in high school. We've lived here all this time, and we raised our kids here. This is a very special place to live. And for those that haven't had the opportunity to live here, I feel bad for them, because I'm telling you what, this is a place where we were able to raise our 2 children, Jason and Robert, here, and they played baseball, they played football, they went to school here, we took them to the park, we took them to the swimming pool. I was able to be their coach for Little League, and I was also the vice president for the Babe Ruth League. Like I said, I have been a city council member before, and I believe that with the knowledge and the experience that I gained as being a city council member will help me and the council make the right decisions as we go forward. There are a lot of different issues here that we're going to have to tackle in the very near future, and it's going to cost a lot of money to do this. And so hopefully, with that being said, that I can win this election, and I appreciate your time.
Brady, next.
First of all, I'm excited to be here, and I appreciate you giving me this opportunity. I'm here because I deeply care about this city. Not just about what it is today, but what it will become. Price City is built on families, small businesses, and the future generations rely on the decisions that are made in this room. Let me take a moment and tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a father of 4 awesome children. A grandfather of 3 of the most amazing grandkids anybody could ask for. My grandsons are my life. And I have a wonderful wife of 12 years. I've worked for the Union Pacific Railroad for 28 years. I have served the past 16 years as a representative for the State Legislation Board for the unions and representing the BLET. I'm also a vice local chairman of the local 888. I'm serving as the president of the Kiwanis of Carbon and Emery chapter. Some of my goals as a council member is transparency to the community, open communication, addressing the concerns of the community. I believe in self-accountability. I believe in accountability for each council member and the mayor also. With my position on the Union Pacific, my goal is to have some influence with the railroad to help Price City to improve projects that are necessary to complete the potential land and water developments. And finally, I will commit to give an honest effort to make ethical decisions. And I appreciate your time.
Good evening. Thank you. My name is Russell Seeley, and I appreciate the opportunity to tell you a little bit about myself. I've only lived here since 2009, not a native, but I feel like Price City is our home. I have extensive experience with local government, including with Price City. Before Price City, and even now, I work on a daily basis with local governments all over the state. I have experience with development, contracts, developers, infrastructure, especially public works projects, roads, water lines, sewer, storm drains, and everything in between. My real expertise is in water, drinking water, especially, but also wastewater, stormwater, like I said, water rights, and water resources. So I bring a wealth of information and experience to this position. Also, I approach situations and decisions in a thoughtful manner. I learned from Gary Sontag, who was a public works director, that we need to treat everybody like they're a person. Everybody may not have the experience or expertise in certain areas, but they do have expertise in their own realm of influence. And so treating them like a person, people want to be heard and listened to, and lots of people have many different solutions, and it's great to hear from all of those people. I also try and approach complex concepts, break them down into understandable issues that experts might not understand, but that can help move conversations forward. I also feel like I said that we're a part of this community. My family has really made an effort to integrate ourselves in this community. My kids and my wife, we have a business, she has a business. Our kids participate in sports. We do all kinds of activities with the city and without the city. And I hope to continue that legacy as a city council member for Price City. Thank you.
Mayor, council members, you all know who I am, most of you do. My name is Wayne Jackson. I put in for this slot because I figured, I know I'm probably one of the most qualified. 20 years United States Army. I was heavy equipment operator as a chemical NCO that advised Schwarzkopf and Powell in Desert Storm. I retired. I taught for 5 years. Then I had massive 16 knee surgeries, so I can't teach. But I'm working up at the high school now with a student, our old mayor knows him, Nathan Weber. I'm one-on-one with him, so I know how to work with all levels. I was a NCO, I know how to give orders, I know how to take orders. I have many suggestions. As the board knows, I've sent emails all the time. You know, yes, I've only been here 2.5 years, so I'm the newbie on the block. But I have the experience that I think the city council is looking for. I have it, I have the knowledge, and I'm willing to work. I'm retired, so I could dedicate almost all my time. As you know, I've been to your work sessions, I've been to your council meetings. I don't know who's attended more between me or the council members, but I'm willing to learn, because really I've never been in a political office or a slot. There's always the first time for everybody. I'm 74 years old and I'm proud to say it. I have 2 boys, 6 grandkids, 4 granddaughters, and 2 grandkid boys. They're all in the 20s. So I moved down here because I wanted a quiet, nice little city. I was up in Tumwater, Washington, where it was growing too fast. Thank you. I'm wrapping up. But I know I'm one of the most qualified because I've been to almost all your meetings. I know how you guys think. I know how the council thinks, and you know how I think. Thank you.
Well, good evening, Mayor and council members. Thank you for the opportunity to meet with you. My name is Jim Piacciatelli. I have the opportunity to have been born, raised, and schooled here in Price. I then observed 5 other communities in Utah as I lived and worked in them. Ever since my family and I returned to Price many years ago, I've been privileged to be actively and continually engaged in community service in a wide variety of areas. Most of those you've read on my application, but highlighting the Price Community Progress Committee, an advisor to the Price City Youth Council, president of the Price, the Carbon High School PTSA, president of the USU Eastern Alumni Association. All those experiences, along with what I currently do in my retired position, as I am on the board of the Carbon, or the Green Team of Carbon County, the Price Water Commission or Price Water Company, and on the Carbon County Historical Society. All those experiences have given me a wide variety to opportunity to work with people in the community and get to know them better. Ever since I applied or considered applying for the council, I have attended all the workshops and council member meetings to familiarize myself with the council and the current problems they're facing. As a vision for the community, I would really like to see us be, number one, very I think we all have everyone, to encourage everyone to be more engaged, to see something, say something, and do something. And I'd also like us to be known as the most welcoming of communities. Again, thank you.
All right. We'll now move to our question portion.
Terry, can we get 2 minutes for an answer to?
Yes. We'll be rotating through. Each council member will ask a specific question, and you will all be asked that question. You will have 2 minutes to answer those questions. And question number 1 will be asked by me. And we will start in the name of the master order, which will start with Mr. Jackson, then Mr. Seeley, then Mr. Tubbs, Mr. Piacatelli, and Mr. Davis, in that order. And after that, then it will rotate to Mr. Seeley as first. So, Mr. Jackson, you come up.
Yes.
Please describe your past or present relevant experience that will make your service and participation as a Price City Council member an asset to Price City.
First, as I said before in my introduction, 20 years United States Army, proudly served, proud American. I retired in 1994. I started teaching. I got my master's in teaching certificate to teach, but then my knees started buckling. I had 16 knee surgeries, and I was on controlled substance. I couldn't teach. So I started volunteering with the USO, which is United Service Organization, if you people that don't know it. We dealt with big-time Iraq deployments. We were serving up to 3,500 to 10,000 soldiers a day. My job was to buy the food for the USO to serve those soldiers. I organized, I bought it, I scheduled people, volunteers, to come in at Old Dark 30, which is after midnight, all the way up to, sometimes we ran 24 hours a day. After that, I decided to travel. And I traveled quite a bit on cruises and traveling in my car. Last summer I went on a road trip over 12,000 miles, saw 7 presidential libraries, and I learned from each presidential library, Republican or Democrat, they all had the same goal, the betterment of the U.S. citizen. I know I can do the job because I've been in very high pressure jobs. I briefed General Powell and General Sourcecoff in the first Desert Storm, so I know how to talk to generals. Thank you. As I said, now I'm working up at the high school with a special student. He's real smart, and him and I get along, and I know I could get along with everyone here because I have for the last 2.5 years. Thank you.
you like that question repeated?
Oh, no, thank you. Yeah, again, just like Wayne, I described quite a bit of my experience in my introductory remarks, but to go in more detail, I used to be the Price City engineer, and with that responsibility came a lot of learning, education that I learned about the city, about the processes, the capital improvement processes, budgets, working with the different departments, the roads department, parks, water and sewer, as well as the other departments in the city to make everything work as a team. I have extensive experience with water, especially drinking water. Price City has a drinking water treatment plant, but has other water resources, wells, springs, and water rights. So I have extensive experience in all of those areas. I serve on the Carbon Water Conservancy District, which is a very important district in the community, which right now takes care of the needs of Schofield Reservoir. Right now we're working on worrying about this water year. There's basically no snow, so we're concerned how do we deal with pending water shortages. So important issues for not just Price City but the whole county. Along with those experiences with the city, again, I'd like to mention our family is very keyed into the city. There's rarely an event that we attend or a place that we visit, a store, where we don't meet people that we know. We have friends all over the city, and we like to communicate. We like to host people in our home, and we like to discuss current affairs. People aren't afraid to come visit our house, share their opinions, and their concerns about the city. So we love to hear what different people have to say from different neighborhoods, different backgrounds, and those concerns. So I feel that those experiences put together would make me a very valuable member of the council. Thank you.
Would you like the question repeated?
Please.
Okay. Please describe your past or present relevant experience that will make your service and participation as a Price City Council member an asset to Price City.
Well, first off, I've raised my family here. I take a lot of pride that my kids are raising their kids here. And it's exciting to have my grandkids here also. I do a lot of work with the Kiwanis Club. I do a lot of donating time that way. I always putting forth an effort to show my efforts towards the city, the efforts towards the small businesses in this city. It's absolutely incredible the people that we have in this city. It's been overwhelming with meeting with these people throughout our city and having these conversations that I've been very lucky to have. It makes me excited to get more involved. It makes me excited to see where we're going to head to into the future. It makes me, I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to have the opportunity to be part of the city council and moving forward in a very positive direction.
Sorry.
Excuse me. Yes, if you would,
Yes.
Mayor, please, again.
Please describe your past or present relevant experience that will make your service and participation as a Price City Council member an asset to Price City.
I believe that what I've stated previously speaks for itself. I think the word is commitment. And that's commitment that goes over a broad, many years, and actively committed and repeatedly committed without any breaks to serving the community. And so that's what I'd say, would repeat. All those, I would add to those things going all the way down, I don't know, or up, depending on how you look at it. I've been a reading tutor at Castle Heights Elementary School. I've also worked on the election committee, not election committee, but on the election poll worker into many other things. I've been the president of the Toastmasters when we started a Toastmaster club here. So all those things, I think, added to that. I would add too that I have raised my family here. I think hopefully successful. I've had a grandson recently returned to live here. He and his wife. His wife works at USU Eastern. So I'm excited to be engaged in that aspect of it as well. So again, going back to a continuity of service to the community on a volunteer basis over a number of years is what I'd have to say. And I think that's the depth of that, I hope, shows my commitment, my desire to serve. And I believe I again have the time and the as well as the energy to also make that happen. Thank you.
Like I mentioned before, I've been on the Price City Council. And during that time, with my experience, I was chair of the Tripartite Board. I've chaired the International Days. I've been involved with the Renaissance Fair. I wrote the NIMS program for our employees. I currently serve as the chair for the Price River Water Improvement District Board of Directors. I'm on the board for Schofield Special Service District, and I've been involved with a lot of different committees here at the city, from roads, water and sewer, electrical. I have a background in electrical, I have a background in safety. And so those have served me well as a council member before, and I'm thinking that continues to do so for me. I know how much time it takes. The city council position takes a tremendous amount of time and effort. I'm retired, so I'm able to do that. Our budget is very complicated and very complex. It takes a lot of time to understand this. And I'm going to tell you right now, I do not understand everything about the budget, but I have been putting in a lot of time just so I can understand that, because I believe that if we understand the employee's position as a council member, then you can be able to more serve the city and also resolve those issues that comes up on an everyday issue with them. Thank you, Elaine. So I put that on there.
Move to question 2.
Yes. Question is, safety of Price City employees and the community is a top priority. What is your experience with safety in the workplace?
We'll start with Mr. Seeley.
Thank you. Safety is very important, and I think it's often an underrated aspect of work. Right now I work in an office, and there's not a whole lot of safety issues in an office, but there are things to pay attention to. I really appreciate my history at Price City and the safety seconds at the beginning of this meeting. The previous mayor started a culture of safety at Price City. Say, hey, safety matters, and instituted this safety seconds at the beginning of meetings. Not just the city council, but all city meetings, is to just take a few moments to say, hey, let's think about what we're doing. Let's talk about some issues, whether it's about bows and arrows, or whether it's about operating a backhoe, or being in a trench. Or I remember some of the safety seconds being about cooking, making sure that your hamburgers are cooked all the way through. It's kind of developing that culture is good. It makes you think twice about everything that you do. The last thing that we want as the public or as the city is for someone to be injured. Injuries are terrible things for the person. They're also not good for the city. It's a bad reputation. It costs the city money. It causes delays in the project. And it's so much better, so much cheaper to have everybody go home with all their fingers and toes every day to their families. So I would like to continue that legacy of safety to make sure that we think twice about situations before we enter them, to think about actions, and just pause rather than to rush into things. Thank you.
I'm really glad this question came up, and thank you for this question, Lane. I was lucky enough throughout my career, I was able to spend 6 years as a safety guy on the railroad. And I've had very, very extensive training when it comes to the safety. I bring a huge force into that area, and I think the fact of the matter is, in order to get the full picture of what we're up against, what every city employee is up against, is we got to put our boots on and we got to go out. We got to see what they're doing. We got to recognize what the safety issues that they're having out in the field. It comes down to, in my opinion, of changing the culture, changing the way we think about safety. The culture, if we can change the culture and we can change the way that our city employees look at the safety, instead of just coming down and saying, hey, we want you to focus on this. The reality of it is throughout my career of doing this with safety, is the employees that are out here in the field doing that, their attitude is, it's easy for you to say, you're in your safe zone. I'm committed to safety. I'm committed to putting my boots on, going and seeing what the employees are up against on a daily basis. We have to do that in order to change the culture. And I'm the man for that job. I have got a very, very extensive training and background in safety. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I would say that one of the things I've observed in the community is that I think we have an excellent group of department heads and supervisors in the city already. And I do believe that history shows that they're committed to safety already. And I believe the challenge is just to encourage that. Personally, I believe that my lifestyle is one of safety. I've tried to raise my children on that and encourage them to do that. And my dictum has always been an ounce of prevention's not worth a pound of cure, but it's worth a ton of cure. So my focus has always been on how can we predict what might happen and how can we prevent that from happening, and what safeguards can we put. I also believe that if there is ever any incident that happens, that we do a good analysis of that to prevent any other types of that happening in the future. Again, my accolades go to the city for the things they've accomplished in the past, and I hope that continues in the future.
So I started with the power industry, and I worked there for 31 years. The last 6 years that I had with the power industry, I was over safety. And safety, you learn from OSHA regulations, you learn from mistakes, you remember successes. And during that time, I went to carbon plant, and the plant manager came up to me and told me, I have an opportunity for you. And I said, what's that? He says, now you're over 5 of the plants. So each one of the plants, they were approximately 120, 150 miles away. I had to form committees, and we had to sit down and make sure that everybody understood that, exactly what we were going to do. I came to, as a city council member, I talked to public works directors and realized that we needed to increase our safety here at the city. Confined space, tagouts, lockouts, PPE, checking for gases, trenching, all of this thing had to be reserved. Now, they were doing a great job. Believe me, they were doing a great job. I don't know how many times that I've had to do an accident investigation. whether it's an incident that did not require a lost time accident or even an accident, maybe a near miss. But every one of those was investigated, every one. And it was by the supervisor and the people that was involved with that. It was a learning curve, and we can learn from that and prevent accidents from happening.
Can you repeat the question, please?
You bet. Safety of Price City employees and the community is the top priority. What is your experience with safety in the workplace?
Well, I didn't mention it before. In 1983, my unit was signed to go down to Central America for the Iran-Contra. For you older guys, you know what I'm talking about. As an NCO, my commander asked me to be the safety NCO. I had to arrange convoys of many heavy equipment, trucks, dozers, graders, to get to the port of Tacoma. I had to give classes. I had to make sure my other NCOs knew what to do and their troops knew how to convoy. Some of you might know a convoy, you're supposed to be 100 meters behind each vehicle, at least, minimum. So if something happens, you have time to stop. Got down to Central America, he said, "Good, Sergeant Jackson, you're my safety NCO." We had to build an airfield in Honduras for the, I could say it now, I guess, the rebels that we were supporting. And then we had to build latrines for soldiers to use. I had to do all the safety, making sure nobody got hurt, nobody got sick. We had to take our malaria pills every morning, and I had to make sure everybody took their pill. They had to swallow it in front of me. I get back to the United States, somehow, everywhere I went, safety NCO. Desert Storm, I had to set up convoys to get to Port of Tacoma safely. Must have been 3 weeks, day and night, convoying to Port of Tacoma, which was about 15 miles. But at night, and if you've ever been on I-5 during traffic hours up there, thank you. I was going to say something, but, safety, crosswalks. You said community, we need crosswalks to protect civilians. I almost got hit twice this week because I was in the crosswalk. I stopped, the idiot didn't stop, and he flipped me the bird. Thank you.
Next question. The Price City annual budgeting process is complex and often difficult decisions must be made regarding allocation of money and resources. What is your experience with budgeting, particularly public sector budgeting, and what are your thoughts regarding the process and the difficult decisions that must be made?
You start with Brady.
Well, I was very fortunate to be able to sit down and Miss Lisa's patience with me to go through and see what the budget was like. Obviously, you can't even remotely come to understanding that budget within 2.5 hours or whatever we were able to sit down and visit with. Yes, it's extremely complex, and it's going to take time. It's going to take my own personal time to study, to look through that budget, to highlight different things and ask questions. Obviously, we have to run a budget very closely with the Kiwanis Club, and I'm very involved with that, running that budget. Luckily enough, I have my amazing daughter-in-law that keeps me on track, and we have to go through everything monthly. We go through, see where our budget's at, what we have, what we can do. Obviously, that's not even close to what we're looking at on the city. I do understand the fact that it's going to take me time. I am definitely willing to put that work in to understand that budget, to understand the different codes, the 10 and whatever where it comes from. But I'm definitely willing to put that work in to understand that budget and do my due diligence to understand where we're at and make some ethical decisions on where the money is spent. And but yes, the bottom line is it's going to be hard. but I'm willing to do the work and understand it. Lisa might get sick of me showing up asking questions, but I definitely know that that's going to take some effort on my part.
Well, again, I'm probably going to be the briefest on this at all, but those who know me best, I think, would describe me as a fiscal conservative. And that means to me that it's someone who knows that it takes money to make money, or it takes money to provide services, but it takes the wise use of money to provide and make money and to provide services. And I, would work with Lisa again, because I think the bottom line in it is you've got to know where your resources are coming from and the expenditures on them, and that those decisions have to be made wisely. And in this case, probably where they can provide the highest amount of services to the greatest number of people. So that would be my take on it. I've done budgets in my work, of course, and I've always tried to come out with a surplus on that budget, and I think I've done a good job of doing that whenever I've been involved in my employment and working. So I remember one of my wise mentors when I worked at USU Eastern or Snow College said, you have to treat every penny that you have, your budget, as if it were your own. And I think that's the model that I would certainly use to guide me.
Thank you. So, working at,
Sorry.
am I right?
Wrong question, we're right.
So, when I was in the private sector, I did have a budget, and I was very familiar how it worked. And when I became a city council member, this is different. It's a municipality budget, a government budget is different than a private business. First thing I knew was that I walked in and I told the finance department, no, you can't move the money from that fund over to this fund because that's not what we're paid for. And they were like, what are you talking about? Well, after an hour, I kind of understood exactly what it was all about. But you have a $30 million budget, a $9 million operation budget. It's very complex. It's very complicated. You have bonds, you have funds, you have dedicated money, you have restricted money, you have the general fund, you have which ones you can move money from an enterprise fund. I think we have 4 enterprise funds that are within the city. What can you do with those? How much time are you going to have to take to really understand where the money is going with? You need to talk to the finance department. You need to get in touch with the representatives. You need to get in touch with the state senators when you need money, when there's funding or grants available to us. And that's what part of the job is for the city council. It's very, very hard to be a city council member at that level. Lisa does a very good job, and every department does a good job. It's just that not getting that sign. So I will leave it with that, saying that the city does a very good job at their budgeting process. Nick does a great job, and so forth. So if I can help.
My turn sure goes fast. While I was in the United States Army, I had a budget of anywhere from $2 to $5 million to spend on heavy equipment, parts, and vacations. It was my job to break it down to what platoon gets what, and some platoons got more because they had the heavy equipment. So the commander would come to me and say, Sergeant Jackson, we got $2 million, we only have 30 days to spend it. Wow. Then I get all the platoon sergeants together, training NCOs together, and we say, what do you need right now? I did that for roughly 15 years of my life, so I know budgets anywhere from a couple dollars up to 10 million. I've done it. I've sat inside your budget meetings for the last 2.5 years. I expect to sit on it either as a member or back here, giving my 2 cents. I know I can do it because I ran the budgets. I never went over budget, I always had excess, and in the military, some of you might know, if you don't spend it by October 1st, you lose it. So the commander would come to me, Sergeant Jackson, we got this much more, spend it. And I have to come up with good ways that will help the unit. I did it from a company level, battalion level, and brigade. And when we got ready to go to Desert Storm, I had a whole division to worry about. And that was anywhere from a couple million to hundreds of millions. And yes, I had a lot of other fingers helping me. And that's what we have to rely on. Everybody has to put in their knowledge and skills to get the budget. Thank you. Like I said, I've sat in on your budget meetings for the last 2.5 years, coming up to 3 years. There'll be my third sit-in and listen to where we can spend the money wisely. Thank you.
Thank you. Budgeting is easy when there's lots of money. Unfortunately, in rural Utah, we don't get that luxury very often. And so with the limited resources that we have, that forces us to make challenging decisions, but it also allows us the opportunity to find creative solutions. In my past history at the city and elsewhere, I've focused on partnerships. If there are resources that we can lean on with other agencies like the county or other cities, why not seek out partnerships to help solve problems, regional problems? Great opportunities there. I've also been instrumental in writing and receiving many grants for Price City, and also in my current position, I was working on grants again today to get money to help further the causes. One thing that we need to remember, while stuff is good, roads and bridges, people are our greatest asset. They also cost a lot of money. But we need to remember that it's important that our people are fairly compensated, otherwise we'll lose them to other opportunities. I know that this is complicated, especially at Price City. There's some concerns with public safety, and I hope that I can be a part of the solution to help find answers to meet all of the needs that the city has in front of it. Thank you.
So, question 4. Price City is in the utility business for water, sewer, stormwater, and electric distribution. Describe your thoughts for balancing the financial requirements to operate the utilities and keep the rates as low as possible for the residents. And we start with you, Jim.
Well, briefly, you've established, Councilman Ruth, I think where we really need to put our emphasis, because those are the things that are challenging not only now but in the future. So I think those infrastructure things, making sure we have adequate amounts of water for now and in the future, that our electrical system meets the necessities, and as well as sewer, and also for safety. So those are the 4 I think really are critical to our needs. I'd like to say, it's never popular to say, but there are times when there has to be an increase in taxes, and I know that's the problem. I think there is that most people do not recognize the benefits and have not been taught the benefits they are getting out of their tax revenue. So I would think that that's where the emphasis would have to be on educating. I do think that in the long run there's going to have to be some taxes, but I also think that what Russell brought up was excellent, that there has to be an interplay of working with other entities and also being able to go out and find other sources through grants, that type of thing. So that would be my approach to it.
Want to read that one more?
You bet. Price City is in the utility business for water, sewer, stormwater, and electrical distribution. Describe your thoughts for balancing the financial requirements to operate the utilities and keep the rates as low as possible for residents.
Okay, thank you. So on the electrical infrastructure here at Price, it is an aging infrastructure. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. But we have done our homework, and we know where those issues lie. There's a 46 kV line that has to go down Fourth East. We have a grant right now that we're going to be able to apply to do that. We also have a transformer that has a voltage step. This is a very large cost that's coming at us in the future. I believe that if you're going to raise electrical rates or anything like that, as long as the residents of Price City understand where that money's going for and why it's needed, then it's easier to do so. Nick has been involved, and I've also served on the electric committee, where we looked at the rates. How can we do this? What are we going to purchase? Do we go out and do we hedge? Things like this. This is what that committee will do and bring it back to the council to make sure that we all understand what we're doing and making sure that the rates are as low as we possibly can. Everybody understands now that we have to replace the spring water line. That is a major cost. Now, fortunately, we were able to get a grant, but that formula was put in place to make sure that we could pay that bond off. And now we're able to use some of that money, I believe, unless I'm wrong, correct me, but to buy the material now so that it won't cost us, the ratepayers, any more in the future. We do have an issue with the water treatment plant right now. We need to have that study. There's been a study in 2024. Right now, so in 2019, during our water conservation plan, we realized that the springs produce 1 billion gallons of water each year. We treat over 500 and some thousand gallons a year. So how are we going to offset that equation when we do this? And when can we do that?
Wayne, it's you.
Oh, me, gosh.
You want me to repeat the question?
No, I'm a new one on this, but, so if you put me on that seat, I'd be in the learning seat on this. I know one thing, when I came to Price, I saw the sunshine, I put panels on top of my roof. First summer, I paid almost $400 a month in electricity. Now I don't even pay $100. So maybe we have an education program to get more solar panels on the upcoming new buildings, or even have some type of program where somebody could put solar panels on their house to cut down on the electric bills. Like I said, mine went from almost $400, I don't even pay $100 a month now on my, because I have solar panels. Garbage, I was going to suggest other things, but not tonight, maybe another night. But I know I'd be on the learning curve. I don't have the experience of the gentleman behind me, but my experience is I could be all I can be, and if the job is given to me, I accomplish it. There's no excuses not to accomplish it. That's what I was taught in the United States Army, and it's followed me all my life, followed me to teach my boys and my grandkids. Do not say you can't do it. Do it. Thank you.
Thank you. The most interesting thing in my experience with utilities is that people really don't notice how good things are until they're in the shower and the water gets turned off, or their sewer backs up, or the power is turned off. We live in a wonderful area, in a wonderful community, and we have very reliable utilities. But that's the key, is making sure that those utilities stay consistent and running. And I think that the city does a remarkable job of doing those things. Managing the budget and keeping fees low is the major challenge there. Of course, there are lots of water lines and sewer lines in the city that could be replaced, but if we replace them all right now, that would be an unbearable cost. And so using judgment and a plan to fix the worst areas to make sure that the costs stay low is the challenge that needs to be met. like has been mentioned, I think that when the public is made aware of the situations, it goes a lot better. Communication is so important. People understand that their power is going to be shut off for maintenance. People understand when their water needs to be turned off for maintenance, and so some advanced communication is so much more helpful in those situations. And people appreciate communication on what their money is being spent on. And so as they see these projects, and if we can celebrate the wins, that's so much better for Price City to say, hey, we're working on improving the utilities. We're trying to keep the costs as low as possible. Sometimes it's out of our control. For example, if Prywide raises their fee for sewer treatment, that's something that we have to pass on. But again, communication is there. Hey, we have to raise the sewer rate because Prywide is making us do it. That's out of our hands. But otherwise, it's on Price City to set those rates. And I think as long as we're honest and upfront about it, then it's something that we can manage together.
Well, I had to chuckle a little bit with Mr. Seeley. I couldn't imagine if my beautiful wife woke up and the water was shut off and what I'm gonna catch from that. So, a couple things. When I know we got a big water coming up with the, I've heard the council talk about it with the 15 million and the 4.5 million that we won't have to pay back. I think we go even a step further is I know that I could really be an influence. I've been fortunate enough to sit down and meet with Mr. Nathan Anderson. I don't know if you guys are aware of who he is, but he is the gentleman that we talk that we get permits from the railroad to be able to bore under the tracks and get to deal with him. So I was very fortunate to be able to sit down and talk to him about some of this and pick his brain a little bit over a week or so ago. I also think that when it comes down, we've got to do our due diligence on preventive maintenance. We need to make sure we're doing the preventive maintenance on our electrical and on our water. I'm a firm believer in if we're doing the maintenance, it helps not to have bigger problems down the road. And you can save a lot of money by doing the maintenance and not waiting for a major blow up. In other words, I do have to agree with Mr. Seeley on the advanced communication when there is power outages. I think the city does a phenomenal job with getting the flyers out, letting you know if you're going to be in that area. I can't tell you how many times we've sat and looked at the maps going, oh, we're going to be affected. My poor mother-in-law, we worry about her if she's affected. So I do have to give credit that they do a phenomenal job with the letting people know. I appreciate it. Thanks.
I'm gonna wear your shoes out.
Okay. What is your approach to addressing and handling controversial and complicated issues? Rick, you are up first.
Okay, repeat that one more time.
Yes, I would love to. What is your approach to addressing and handling controversial and complicated issues?
I think that one of the main things you have to do is you have to be a good listener. You have to listen to what the issues are. If they're complicated, you know, how are you going to find a solution? And have that person too, or that group of people, also be the solution for it. Get all their ideas, no matter what it is. And sometimes the issues are more complicated than you might think, but as you talk it out, then you realize exactly what those are, and then you can come up with that solution. But make sure that you listen to everybody, make sure that you get everybody involved with that issue, and make sure that the solution is correct.
Mr. Jackson? Sorry.
Communication, that is the biggest thing, the biggest trouble everybody has in getting a point across. You listen to what somebody is saying. You regurgitate it back. You and that person talk about it. You don't throw stones. You don't throw names. You listen. You communicate. like I did for 20 years in the Army. That's what taught me to listen to my soldiers, listen to the first sergeant, the commander, and relay the message down. Every good idea is a good idea. Every idea is not a bad idea. You have to think of what the mission is when somebody says, can we do it this way? Or can we do it that way? Experience teaches me that if you don't have communication between A and B, you're going to see your way out. Thank you.
Thank you. This is a great topic because this is what local government is about. If problems are easy to solve, then they get solved. Otherwise, they end up at city council, controversial and complex issues. As was mentioned, like communication is the key. And understanding the situation, listening to the person who is issuing the complaint or the group or the organization is very important to understand the issues at hand. But also making sure that you're understood, making sure that you're presenting in a kind and thoughtful manner instead of boisterous and weight-throwing ideas. Often, one of my biggest strategies is to reframe the situation. The other day I was working with a water system that had some issues with their compliance. Instead of approaching that, saying, hey, I'm the regulator, you need to change your act, let's turn it around and say, hey, we're on the same team. Both of us want clean drinking water in your community. How can we work together to accomplish this? What are the barriers that stop that from happening? And so instead of being enemies, hey, let's work together on the same side and work out the issues that are preventing us from moving forward. I don't pretend that we can, with a wave of a wand, change controversial and complex ideas into simple ones, but we can work at it and we can try. And that's what the public expects, is us to at least give it a try, give it a listen, and work together to find a solution.
I do appreciate this question also. First off, I think number one was we got to have open communication. We've got to be transparent in what we're hearing, what we're listening, and not be so caught up in, as I guess you would say, as Dr. Phil would say, being a right fighter. There's always opinions. You can't be afraid to say, oh, that's a good point. My opinion was wrong. I see where you're coming from. But also do it in a kind manner. You've got to treat people with respect. You've got to listen to people and what they're coming to you for. And explain where you're coming from. I guess it comes back to kind of like being married. Other than you end up saying yes, dear, more than I get to say my point, but if you do it in a kind way and you listen to what people are coming to with their concerns, that's the only way. You've got to have that open communication.
Well, I could just say amen to what's been said, and I noticed all the smiles I got when you said it's something like being married, you know, touched on it. I would just say listen, listen, and listen. I think when we talked about communication, that's the key, and it comes from the root of commonness, means find an area that you have agreement on. So I think that's the first time. If you start there and say, well, what do we agree on? And then you go from there. The statement is to seek first to understand, then to be understood. I think is a rule that's always played out best. And then the belief that every problem does have a solution. It may not be really quick and be readily available, but if you use that as an opportunity to engage the person in finding that solution, that again goes back to what I talked about earlier, then the key to believing that all the people in our community have something very important to contribute, from the very young to the not so young to the children, and being able to give them that opportunity to do so and to be engaged, I think, is a way to turn that around, and so they become part of the solution. I think we have great opportunities here to do that in Price. Hope to be able to be part of that solution.
Okay, and this is the final question. Being a Price City Council member is much more involved than just attending a couple council meetings per month. Describe your understanding of the time commitment necessary to be a successful council member. And Mr. Jackson, you start this one off.
Again? My name must be at the beginning of the alphabet. Like I put on my little questionnaire there that you asked, I can devote as much time as it needs to be to accomplish the mission. If it takes 1 hour, I can do it. If it takes more than 1 hour, it takes days or weeks, I'm retired. I have all the time in the world. I know I can travel on the weekends if possible, because I love to travel. But like I said, I've been to your council meetings. I know what you guys all go through. I've heard it. And I figured with my experience, my knowledge, I'd be a good fit for that other rocker over there. But like I said, being a council member, you can't have rabbit ears. What it means is if you let something bother you, it's going to affect your job, it's going to affect your accomplishment. So you tune it out. If it's real bad, you tune it out. But you continue with the mission. If I get a mission, if I'm having trouble, I'm going to go to the mayor or go to one of the other council members that's been sitting on the council for a while and ask for their advice. I'm learning. I'd be a learning experience. I don't have all the knowledge and experience the gentleman behind me have, but my experience is, like I said, 20 years in the United States Army. I went through a lot. I learned a lot, and now I have the knowledge. I want to pass it on to the fellow residents of Price City.
Thank you. I look forward to the day when I can retire. That sounds really nice. Unfortunately, I don't have that luxury, but I do have a taste of what it takes to be on the city council, working with the city. The council members were always available for phone calls, not just in city council meeting, but about issues and concerns. They would frequently come to meetings, staff meetings, project meetings, visit on site and look at construction projects, visit concerned citizens. I understand that just doesn't happen from 5 until dark, and I'm okay with that. I have a flexible position with my day job, and I can, as long as I have enough time, I can rearrange my schedule and accommodate most things. But rather than trying to say it takes this many hours, I think it takes this type of person to be a city council member. Not just somebody who is on the clock, okay, my time's up, thank you, I'm gonna go do other things. But it's a personality. It's being open to ideas from random citizens. It's being able to drive around the city and look at the condition of different streets and different areas of town. It's who you are. And I feel that I can do that job fairly well. Again, I've lived here like most of these applicants have. But I try and pay attention to the issues around, not just in Price City, but what's going on in the county, what's going on with UDOT, what's going on in rural Utah, how will these issues affect the city, how will they affect our residents, how do they affect the workers and the things that the city does. These are all important issues that can't be identified as a certain hours per week or month, but it's a wholehearted change of who you are and what you can be as a city council member. Thank you.
Well, obviously I wish I was with this gentleman saying I was retired, but I have a really good job schedule right now, and we've had the same schedule for about 3 years now. And to give you kind of an insight, as you guys saw in my application, that I went through my whole year in 2025 and figured out what my average work day was. And in the 2025, I averaged 12 days a month. To give you an idea on where I'm at now, and I'm not saying it will be like this every month, but in the month of January, I've actually worked 6 days this month. I've got the time. I've always been worried to throw my hat in the ring because of my work and not being able to give my full attention to what I need to do. I've got that time now, and we work 11 on, 4 off. Odds are we're probably gonna work 5 of those 11. And not very often do we work more than that. So I've got the time during the day. I've got the time to be at the meetings during the day, to meet with people, to do my due diligence, to put everything I got into this and what we need to accomplish. I understand that it's going to take, I gotta do my work. I gotta do a lot of things outside to understand where I'm at. And I know I've got to do that work. I've got to educate myself. And the only way I know I've got to spend time. And I've got that time, and I'm looking forward to being able to serve on this city council with you guys and putting that time into what we need to do to run the city. So I appreciate it. Thank you all.
Well, thank you again. Just very briefly, I would say that I am also retired, but I consider myself rewired as well. So and that's an invitation to the rest of those who are not yet arrived at that point and cannot say they're living the dream. But I think it's critical that it's not only to have the time, but to use it properly. So I consider myself one who has taught and has practiced time management. And in answer to the question, I put my answer as a priority, saying the council would take priority over other things in my life. And so whatever that took, the time required, I would be willing to do that. And certainly I would have lived and continue to live to be able to see something, say something, and then be able to do something. I think, again, I have much to learn. I've stated that before, but I'm eager, anxious, and open to learn about all that I can about the council and how to use my time wisely again from them. Thank you.
Thank you. So, again, I am retired. I know how much time and effort it takes to be a city council member. It takes a tremendous amount of time and effort. I remember when I first ran for council, and somebody came up to me and said, "Listen, why don't you run for council?" And I said, "What do they do?" "Oh, a couple of meetings a month, you vote on this, you vote on that." I'm still looking for that person, by the way, but because I became a council member, and I realized just how much time and effort it really takes. It really does. This is a legislative body. And as a legislative body, that's what you do, is you write policy, you law, procedures, you attend a number of committees, you represent the city, you represent the residents of Price City, you work with attorneys, you work with engineers, you work with staff. We have a great staff, we have wonderful employees. Police department, fire department, public works, the cemetery, they all do a perfect job. And they need the support of the city council. And so when you become a city council member, just remember that that's who you're going to represent, and that is the time and effort that you're going to be committing to make sure that this city is successful. Thank you.
All right. The next step is going to be round one of voting. The city council members all have a vote. I do not. So, Jesse, would you hand out the ballots? If you want to have some discussion, it has to happen here in the open.
Right.
So,
It's been educational privilege to sit on these chairs. Thank you.
Worthy opponents.
I think everybody comes in with a certain strength. On this, because you know, knowledge, I come in with a certain strength, experience, background, beliefs, what you can do. Yeah. Whatever it is. I think that's what
No, I don't think it is. You have to speak up, we have to speak up. We can't rightly. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, can I just say something? Yes. Okay, then I'm gonna say something. So I think everybody was really fabulous. I think all of you have something that you could offer and bring to us, and I got to know so many of you so much more, and so it's great. And so obviously at the end of the day, one of the 5 is going to be chosen, and I want you to know that I don't think these decisions come easily. We have read over and over these things that were presented to us and everything else, and so I am leaning toward I'm leaning toward experience, as well as in certain areas, especially for our water, our electricity, for our infrastructure. That's really important. We all know that we need more communication. We all know that we need to work with our departments. We all know there are some things that need to be addressed. But I just want you to know that I am going to lean toward on this. I think all of you should be on a committee of some sort though, but I am going to lean toward experience and people that can help take us to the next level and that I can even learn from regarding our water and infrastructure issues. So I'm gonna throw that out there.
Well, and I would like to say thank you to all of you. It takes a lot of courage to do this. I just found that out myself. Questions aren't easy. I really appreciate all of you, and I think we have a really hard decision because I think we have 5 very, very good candidates. And again, I want to thank you. This is going to be a tough one, so again, I appreciate all of you.
Just like to add to Tina too, is we've got some really big decisions going on currently, especially our last meeting we approved purchasing the pipe, the 7 miles worth. So that's what I've been kind of really looking for, is somebody with some good experience with the water and sewer as well as the roads. But like Tina said and Richard said, it's pretty tough to get up here, and thank you all 5 of you for doing it, because it's pretty tough to put your name out there and go for it. But I'm with them. We need a lot more communication, and that's something that I'm looking for, is somebody that I can work well with and that we can all really talk to, talk through some solutions. It's just a tough decision. It's been a stressful couple of weeks for me.
He has been stressed about it. He literally has, and we feel the weight of this, and we know that this is a really big decision because we were in elections that the residents voted for us. Now we're in a position trying to do what we feel the residents would think is the best decision. So it's been weighing on all of us, and Tanner has expressed that to me. He's like, I'm really stressed about this because we really have taken it seriously.
Jackie, I think they've all.
You always have to use that with me. I've been in meetings where Mike, Coriana's previous mayor, told me, Tina, you're not allowed to talk. So.
I haven't said that yet.
You haven't yet, no. It's only our second meeting.
we're waiting, I do want to reiterate, this has been an honor to listen to you guys, and I know I've been in that seat, stepping up and putting your name in the hat. So, thank you all. All right, we have a vote of 4-0 for Russell Seeley. With that, we are going to actually have Russell come up, and Jackie is going to read Russell his oath of office, and he's going to sit up here. I want to thank the rest of you, and don't give up. If you're really interested in being on city council,
However you want to. Jackie, hang on just 1 second.
I'll watch for the newspaper guy. He knows what he's doing. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Utah,
the Constitution of the State of Utah,
the ordinances of the City of Price,
the ordinances of the City of Price,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Mayor, Terry, vote to appoint.
oh, yes. We will now, I need a motion to vote to ratify that vote. So,
I'll make a motion to ratify that vote.
Second.
I heard it. Second. Okay.
Roll
We
call.
will,
Roll call.
we are going to have a roll call vote on that. So Jackie, would you do the honors on that?
Councilmember Richardson,
How did you vote? Oh, aye.
Aye.
Councilmember Urbanic, Roots,
Aye.
and Miller.
With that, the motion passes. Okay, you are now officially. With that, I will take a motion to adjourn this meeting. I second it. Who was our motion? You made the motion. Yes, I'll second it. All right, we have a motion and a
Hey,
second.
Brady,
Be quiet,
can I
all right.
get your contact information?
You guys stick around a little bit.
We work together as a team. It's been a privilege, by the